Yo, what's up? You on spec, guys.
For all kat luar, SPM ke, PMA ke, UPSA semua,
ungkap balik cerita-cerita yang macam tu. Cerita ketiga adalah Yo, what's up guys? Pierre Andre is back. Assalamualaikum and salam jatuh pada korang yang menonton channel Andre Brothers. Korang semua memang awesome guys. Okay guys, last video kita dah react satu video daripada Chills. Kali ni kita akan react lagi video daripada dorang. Video dorang pun memang banyak yang menyeramkan. In fact sebenarnya dia punya video ni dia compile lebih banyak klip-klip yang menakutkan. Kalau aku tengok apa ni, Nook's Top 5 kebanyakan video-video dia compile dalam 5 video. Tapi biasanya Chills ni dia lebih banyak video ni compile lah. So dalam 15 macam tu. So untuk kali ni kita akan react lagi video pada channel dia orang. Dan aku harap kita akan terhibur. So apa khabar? Baik, good, alhamdulillah, syukur kepada Allah. Tak nak buang masa, kita terus straight forward and react video yang kita nak tengok hari ni. Okay guys, jom bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Number 15, wedding ring taker. You'd never expect to run into a thief at a funeral, but when an 88-year-old lady passed away, one found her at her funeral home in Texas. A woman was caught on camera taking the wedding ring right off her finger.
Seriously,
The suspect was caught on CCTV approaching the open casket.
Dia
of Lois Hicks, who
mencuri
passed
pada
away
tubuh
the
mayat,
day
guys.
prior. When a visitation was held at the Sunset Funeral Home in Odessa, the suspect is seen struggling to pry the ring off the woman's finger. Once she's managed to collect from the afterlife, she rushes out of the funeral home. Hicks's granddaughter took to Facebook the following day to post her disgust with the person, writing, "As if my grandmother's passing away hadn't been hard enough on my entire family. Although the loss of such an heirloom is undoubtedly horrible, it puts a dark spin on the phrase, you can have it when you pry it from my cold hands." Number 14,
Ada lagi orang macam ni
the
guys.
not so great escape. Who doesn't like a bumbling crook? Tunsi News published this video
Ini
in May of
penyamun ni, guys.
2017, writing, "A man in New Orleans is the laughing stock of the city after a Mission Impossible-esque heist that started off kind of cool, but
Oh, yang
quickly
satu tu
devolved into
patung. Aku ingat
slapstick
kawan dia.
humor. The man likely thought he could pull off the next great escape, but as it turns out, he hadn't done enough pull-ups to prepare himself. It was just after midnight when the man busted through the ceiling of a clothing store. According to the New Orleans Police Department, surveillance video caught him in the act. Wearing a stocking over his head, he drops down from the ceiling by rope. While this bit all goes according to plan, the next certainly doesn't. The security alarm sounds off, which sets the man off into all-out panic mode. Apparently, he hadn't expected it. He immediately starts bumbling around, attempting to toss up some merchandise to the
Tak boleh keluar,
ceiling
guys.
before climbing
Kantor,
back up the rope to his escape route. Unfortunately, he finds he's not strong enough to do so. He then looks to other routes to reach the ceiling, leading him to climb a shelf, but that doesn't work either. Clearly saying to himself, what the heck do I do now? He wanders around the store before pulling up a display of some sort to assist in his climb to the ceiling, which finally pans out, but not for long. The ceiling bursts in beneath him, and he falls to the ground, just barely managing to
Jatuh
grab a
lagi,
hold
guys.
of
Oh,
the
dia cuba
rope
nak
to
lari tapi
lessen the
jatuh.
blow. While all this bumbling is entertaining, the crook did manage to escape through an exit door and evade police for more than a week. If you're watching this, wannabe crook, next time maybe consider a little less Mission Impossible and a few more pull-ups. Number 13, the lurker. The last thing you want while you're napping is a figure lurking behind you. But that's what YouTuber Charles Pennywacker caught in this creepy video, which he published to YouTube in April of 2012. Charles wrote, "I was goofing around with my camera's night vision in this video.
Ni confirm buat lah guys.
The footage shows a young man fast asleep on a couch. Nothing seems odd until, in the next room beyond, a figure in a black hooded robe is seen gliding past the doorway. It disappears as the young man sleeps on. What in the world is that thing? The way it moves, it definitely wasn't walking. Some in the comments of the video liken the figure to Darth Vader, while others cry fake. Real or fake, the lurker is certainly unnerving. Number 12. Possession. Seeing a woman possessed might just make you more surprised than scared. This video, published by Humor Base in June of 2015, purportedly shows a possessed woman lying face down on the ground. Although she's clearly not in her right mind, a possession isn't a certitude. Whatever the case, her actions are out of the ordinary and are causing a standstill on the road. A police vehicle with its lights flashing is seen in the background, although no officers are yet in sight at the beginning of the footage. The woman keeps repeating, "You see me," over and over again. She then rolls to her side, telling the man videoing her to bring it. She presses up against a car, spreading her legs out in circles once around, screaming and laughing oddly the whole time. She keeps taunting onlookers to bring it, while making strange noises and grabbing herself. You can hear police sirens in the background, as the woman then turns back onto her stomach and starts swimming through the concrete. A police officer is standing in the background, perhaps waiting until paramedics arrive to restrain her. Bystanders explain to the officers what happened, but it's still unclear what set her off. One of the men says that she fell, and they might want to check her. The woman is then seen scooting around the vehicle after one of the officers, while laughing hysterically. Whether possessed by evil spirits or something else, I hope this woman got the help she quite clearly needed. Number 11. Breakthrough. School can be a strange time. This footage shows just one example of this strangeness, leaving nothing behind but question marks. In this video, a $5 dare had been made to a student for climbing up into the ceiling. While it's a surprise someone would actually take this dare, things get way more baffling. After then getting stuck while trying to lower himself onto a toilet, it appears the ceiling has had enough, and in a surprising turn, the entire roof in the shot seems to collapse, with the video ending shortly afterwards. We don't know what was the fallout from this situation, but we can all clearly see it's a bad idea. Number 10. B&E. Most burglars who are looking to take possession stalk a home to ensure there's no one inside before they break in, but not these clowns. Google Nest published this video in June of 2016, writing, "This family were at home sleeping when they heard a noise. John's wife Gluda walked out and saw two men running out of the house with her purse. The couple's surveillance camera video history showed that the men had, in fact, attempted to ensure no one was home. They waited at the door for about 5 minutes, ringing the doorbell more than 20 times before busting in. The event happened in broad daylight. One of the intruders can be seen hurrying around, crowbar in hand, looking for valuables to gather. He grabs the purse and rambles from room to room. As another man enters, donning black gloves as he walks through the home, a third man dressed in black then appears, and they all hurry round in a last-ditch attempt to make off with valuables. As one of the men breaks something while he stumbles around, it falls to the ground, right before the homeowner brazenly walks out, telling the men to get out of here.
Gila,
The
cool
female
macam ni.
homeowner doesn't seem fazed one bit by the intruders, and the men don't harm her but dodge around her to leave out the front door. Thankfully, this story
Ini
has a
agak
happy
lucu guys,
ending.
pasal
According to the video description,
itu penyamun,
men were
rompak.
identified using the Nest Cam
Tapi
video
on the rumah
clip
ni
caught
nampak
by
cool
police
gila.
and put behind bars. Number 9. Abandoned church. Entering an abandoned church around 2:20 in the morning. You probably expect to be the only visitor, but sometimes you're not alone. Posted on the Chills Narrator subreddit by Be More Talks Mitch, this video affords viewers a chilling surprise. Mitch writes, "So I wasn't going to post this just because I don't know if it's ghost related, and I say that because it is possible that someone could have slammed the door, but on second note it was only me and my girlfriend in the graveyard at that time, so you be the judge. Regardless, the holy building appears to be haunted. The pair enter the building, which has clearly been in disuse for a while. There's plaster on the ground and the pews, garbage, broken and boarded up windows. But it isn't until around 2 minutes 40 seconds into the video that the action occurs. It's then that you hear what we all came here for, the door slamming.
This was probably a really nice place at one time. What do you think? Serious?
Mitch hesitantly creeps back to the front of the church to investigate the matter. He admits he's so scared that he can barely walk. He gets his girlfriend to come with him to look. When they arrive at the front of the church, the door is surprisingly not shut, and the night air seems very still. It's unlikely wind or a sudden draft could have slammed it. An abandoned church in a cemetery at night. Actually, although you wouldn't expect it, this sounds like a perfect setting for a haunting. Number 8. Zombie Chicken. This video first went viral
video ni aku
last
pernah tengok,
month.
guys.
You may have seen the zombie chicken come to life on social media. The post of the 7-second clip identifies meat on a plate as a chicken.
Agak pelik
Shot
guys.
at a restaurant,
Jadi
the
macam tu.
so-called raw chicken starts writhing around and, with the aid of some wild protuberance, manages to crawl clean off the plate and fall off the edge of the table as a girl screams in fright.
Kalau aku tak makan lah. Aduh.
The origin of the footage is a mystery, but before it went viral in the US via an English language post shared on social media, the footage had already been around for weeks in other countries, including on a Facebook group in Asia, although its origin is believed to be China. Your guess is as good as mine where it was filmed. Whatever the case, the post claims are also being called into question by some, including by poultry experts. USA Today's senior vice editor, Robert Lindman, calls into question the video's beginning and end, as the shot conveniently pans away from the meat. If the footage was authentic, he says, the camera would zoom in close. What do you think? Real or doctored? Zombie or not? Is this meat even chicken? Number 7. What appears in this live stream? The trees of this forest are haunted. At least that's what the people of this area believe. When in search of said ghosts, they actually caught a couple sightings on video and uploaded them to YouTube. The livestream follows Danya Nayada in July of 2019
Dunia
as he
nyata.
explores the
Ni Indonesia
wilderness in
punya
the
ke, guys?
dark. At about 5 minutes into the video, a ghost is pointed out in one of the trees, unbeknownst to the man in the helmet below. It appears in the top left corner. Zooming in on the so-called ghost, it's difficult to make out any features. In fact, it looks very similar to the surrounding leaves, although it emerged out of nowhere in
Yalah,
the
ada something lah,
darkness. Around a minute after its appearance, it then disappears from view in the same unnerving way. Around 9 minutes 40 seconds into the video, you can see a much clearer image of what appears to be a spirit in the darkness surrounded by some trees. The spirit lingers there for a moment before ascending out of view into the ethers.
Ni apa,
Whatever
Pontianak
this
ke?
creepy forest is, these dudes must be brave.
Tapi ni
I most
macam buat je,
certainly
guys.
wouldn't want to wander it at night. Number 6. Road collapse. Canadians in Nova Scotia got the
benda-benda macam ni
surprise
scary,
of a
guys.
lifetime
Tanah
when a
runtuh.
road completely disappeared with the tide. Heavy rainfall caused flooding in the area, so much so that a section of Cloverville Road actually collapsed and vanished into the waters of a river below. The whole thing was caught on video by Tarek Haddad, who shared the
Ini
recorded
bahaya, guys.
incident on Twitter. Haddad called the incident absolutely terrifying, recounting to CBS News, "That was really scary. We haven't seen anything like this before." Luckily, he'd seen the collapse from a ways away as he approached the road. If he'd crossed the road even moments later, this could have ended much worse. Social media users called the footage scary and said the old infrastructure was to blame and should be replaced. In fact, Canada's Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal was on it, sending crews to search out areas that had been affected by the flooding and needed to be repaired. Still, this surprising footage shows just what can happen when nature gets angry. Number 5. Alligator at the door. Knock knock, who's there? A 6.5-foot alligator.
Serious?
That's what the owner of this Myrtle Beach home found outside her door.
Wah, ya,
Of course,
guys,
the
ini
gator
bukan
was
biawak,
telling a
guys.
knock knock joke. After all, he couldn't knock, but as it would turn out, he could surprisingly ring the doorbell. The incident was caught on owner Karen Alfano's security camera, although Alfano thought being visited by a gator was pretty surprising. Others in the neighborhood were frightened by the
Serious, guys, ini scary,
encounter.
guys.
The gator was captured and removed by wildlife officials, but not before it scratched up Alfano's home and ruined shelving on her walkway. Even more surprising than the unwanted visit is that this isn't the first gator's guest in the area. With all these gators running around, officials seem to be fed up with the high volume of emergency calls. They've requested that community members avoid calling upon their services for alligators under 5 feet. Such gators are young and apparently don't pose harm. I don't know about that. I wouldn't want to run into one of these, no matter the size. Number 4. Mega bugs. Many have had the unfortunate displeasure of dealing with lice in one way or another. The tiny wingless creatures are spread easily by shared items and physical contact. If you're lucky enough, however, you've never seen an infestation of this magnitude. This footage shows a man combing through the hair of a young boy whose head is infested. At first, while the man is combing, you don't really notice the parasitic insects. It simply looks like the man is brushing the kid's hair. But once he's done a thorough combing of the boy's skull, he holds the brush up to the lens. Only then you can see the insects moving on the comb's prongs, and not just a few of them, thousands of them. If you don't want to feel like you're itching all over, don't watch this video. And someone please get that kid some of that special shampoo to deal with those bugs. Number 3, near miss. A drive down Interstate 4 nearly turned very bad for one lucky driver who barely avoided a light pole falling on them. The footage was caught by Rob Viewagger en route to exiting the interstate near Maitland Arts Center. At a distance, he notices the pole teetering, so he brakes slightly. That's when the light pole was sent falling to the ground. Viewagger barely avoided the pole, which could have taken his life. He made his way around the obstacle, which the Florida Department of Transportation says likely became unstable when a concrete truck reversed into it. This just goes to show that surprises can jump out at you when you least expect them. You can never be too careful. Number 2. Demonic possession. While I'm skeptical that the previous possession was a spiritual one, this video posted on YouTube in January of 2015 by Jonathan Savo looks absolutely legit. Jonathan writes, on January 22nd, 2015, I came to visit my girlfriend in a hospital in Paris. A woman was lying in her own bed next to her and started roaring and talking with a devil voice.
It is scary, guys.
The woman was captured roaring in the hospital bed next to the YouTuber, addressing the pair in their tackiness and ugly face, and telling them they're all going to pass away. The possessed woman claims to have a friend in the mafia who she says she's going to call. At the end of the clip, the woman asserts she's going to take out her drip to leave. Jonathan writes that when he stopped filming, the possessed woman tried to get up and apparently wanted to take the life of the person sitting alongside her. The woman was stopped by 5 nurses who restrained her, while pushing the rest of the patients to leave the room. Unfortunately, Jonathan had no clue what happened after that, although he says he heard the woman's voice still roaring that she wanted to take their lives. As Jonathan clearly got out alive, the possessed woman must not have succeeded. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. Are you curious about what I look like in real life? Then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT to find out. Do you like my narrations? If you answered yes, then tap the follow button and thank you for your support. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way, you'll be notified of the new video we upload every Tuesday. Number 1. Too close for comfort. Lightning storms are fascinating, but are they worth your life? In northern Greece, an approaching storm drew this eager onlooker out onto his balcony, where he stood filming the dark, cloudy sky. At first, everything seems for a moment calm. That is, until a bolt of lightning takes this opportune moment to show the world what it's made of, reaching the ground with a deafening bang against a nearby rooftop. You can almost feel the electrifying ferocity of nature as the storm rains down its raging light. The person filming is either forcibly jolted back by the energy or jumps from fright as the
too
camera
scary,
falls away
guys.
from the show before returning to the point of action. Was this nature? Or is Zeus angry for some reason? You can only guess, but the video is a lesson learned. The next time you're curious about a lightning storm, remind yourself that curiosity took the life of the cat, and it nearly took the life of this man as well. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because we upload new countdowns every Tuesday and Saturday. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of our other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy! No.
Okay guys, itu dia kita punya video daripada Chill. Ada 15 video, kebanyakan dia memang seram. Walaupun bukanlah banyak video-video penampakan hantu, tapi ada 2-3 video yang aku rasa memang menyeramkan guys. Antaranya video kalau kau tengok yang second last tu, perempuan tu kena rasuk dekat hospital kan, dan dia bercakap dengan cara yang sangat menakutkan lah guys. Kalau tak tahulah kalau aku dekat situ, tak boleh bayangkan lah guys. So aku harap korang enjoy dengan video kali ni, pasal aku pun seronok tengok video-video yang diorang dah compile ni. Dan insyaAllah untuk next video kita cari video yang lebih menyeramkan, insyaAllah. So mana antara korang yang dah tengok pada awal sampai habis, seperti biasa guys, jutaan terima kasih. Aku doakan supaya korang panjang umur, murah rezeki dan dipermudahkan segala urusan dunia dan akhirat guys. So mana yang belum subscribe dulu, tekan sekali butang notification ni dan share video ni dengan kawan-kawan korang, okay? Sehingga kita jumpa next video. Korang jaga diri, stay safe, stay cool. Korang semua memang awesome guys. Right, ciao.